So the reason that I wanted to interview you specifically is because you seem to have achieved an extremely deep level of understanding of what consciousness and reality and truth and being are, to such a degree, in fact, that it's hard to describe just how significant such an understanding can be. So how can we describe this to someone who's new to this, who hasn't really studied this much or hasn't even done much meditative or contemplative work? How do we describe just the significance of what this work entails?
That's a big question. So when you talk about this work, then I hear my work. And if I hear my work, this is more than enlightenment. So enlightenment as one aspect, a very central and important aspect of the work, is having a direct consciousness, becoming directly conscious of something ultimately true or absolutely true, like your true nature or what existence is. But the work is more than that. It's also grasping, using enlightenment as the kind of foundation or the base. It's grasping, what is mind? What is language? What is being a self? What is thinking? What is communication, etc. I mean, just all down the board. What is anything? Just put what is in front of it, and you got basically the foundation for the studies. Now, the thing that probably people won't grasp right away is that there's a possibility of actually you personally becoming directly conscious of these things. So it's not like finding an answer. It's not like a belief system. It's antithetical to a belief system. If you believe something, you're actually doing something that's getting in the way. So we're not ever inviting people to believe in something. We're inviting people to experience for themselves what's true. Now, when I say experience for themselves what's true, I can hear that, in different ways. People might think, all right, then I'll have my opinion about it, or I'll draw conclusions, or I'll figure it out. And the reason people will assume that is because that's pretty much what people do. That's pretty much what people think they can do in these kinds of matters, is just believe something, hear about something, or draw conclusions, or figure it out. But those are all functions of mind and hearsay, and they're quite minor to the work. So people aren't invited to figure something out. Sure, of course, we will do that. People will do that. They'll figure things out, they'll conclude, they'll believe, they'll have opinions. But all of that is pretty much nonsense compared to a direct experience. So we're always inviting people to grasp for themselves, beyond themselves too, not just, okay, I grasp it for myself like it's my own little, like I said, like opinion or something, or I have my own idea about it. But to grasp for themselves the truth. And that isn't something that's commonly shared as possible. We have to figure things out or learn from others. And it's great to learn from others, but that's only one aspect of things. That's a form of knowledge that we absorb from somebody else or from science or from, history. And it can teach us stuff, but to actually, for oneself, become directly conscious, and by directly, I mean you're there. So whatever's true about your nature, you're there. You're actually, it is that. You are that. You become conscious of that, the absolute nature of you, or the absolute nature of existence. You become conscious of it. You're one with it. See? That's what I mean by direct. So experience can be misleading because most of the time people find experience in perception, or, what we call experiences, emotions, things like that happening in the mind, or perceiving something. And this is not what enlightenment is.
What is enlightenment? Like, in a nutshell, if you had to just say it in a sentence or two to somebody who doesn't grasp the significance, because enlightenment can seem just like, oh, it's like an emotional state that I have, or it's an idea, or just even a cool insight, but it's so much deeper than that. So how would you describe it in a nutshell?
Well, yes. Enlightenment is not a state, it's not an experience, it's not an emotion, it's not an insight. Those are all functions of mind. And enlightenment is not about mind. It's not about body either. But enlightenment is becoming conscious, and usually we don't have space for that. We don't think that we can become conscious of what's true. So I guess the first thing is we'd have to consider that that what we perceive now is not what's absolutely true. And people usually don't even have that thought, because what we perceive now is everything. See, it's like everything. We think that is the world. That's everything. Because that's everything that they perceive. It's everything that goes on. So we think that, and then, we move on from there. But like I say, that's a function of being an organism. That's a function of surviving in a world in which, we create perceptions so that we can do that. But it's not what's absolutely true. And if you recall, you don't know how it is you began. Somehow you suddenly you existed. And you've worked really hard. But before that, you didn't exist. So in order to become a human, you had to invent being a human. You don't remember probably much about doing that, but you probably remember some of doing that. As a kid, kind of inventing yourself, creating ways of thinking about yourself or others or reality, learning stuff. Yeah. And so that's basically where all of our consciousness is trapped. That's basically where all of our attention goes, is doing that job. But if we consider that somehow, see, we were ignorant from the beginning, and we are still ignorant. See, we don't know any more about what we are, or what existence is, or what life is, than we did in the beginning. All we've done is actually just learn about stuff. We've accomplished, a great deal, but we've learned about stuff. But we haven't gotten a direct consciousness of what this is, what consciousness is, what self is, what existence is. So if we open up the possibility that we could do that, then that's enlightenment. So it's merely and only, it's not something fantastic, it's not grand, it's not, huge, it's not mundane, it's none of that. It's off the charts. It has nothing to do with charts. It has nothing to do with scales. It has nothing to do, that's one of the problems, you see, with all the questions and the wondering and the trying to find an answer about enlightenment, is all of that is done in the same world. It's done in a relative world, and enlightenment is absolute. It's not about a relative thing. And so when we hear absolute, we think, whoa, that's really big because it's absolute, No, it's just true. It just means absolutely true. Yeah, just the truth. And so, enlightenment is you yourself becoming conscious of what's true, directly conscious of what's true, like what you are or what existence is. No more than that. And it's not hard. People think, oh, it's hard. No, not doing it is hard. Trying to do it might be hard, but doing it's easy. See, enlightenment is simply being where you already are. Boom, done. See, done.
For me, one of the ways that enlightenment came on my radar and it really